All right, so our investment raise closed a month ago and we had a big decision to make. What kind of shop could we build? How big can we get? So in this video, we meet with a building supplier who was successful building with a contract. They went off, looked at what we could build. Then we're gonna meet with the installers. Spencer from Hard Work Industries, he's gonna be taking his cat, ripping off the topsoil, digging some test pits of where we're gonna be putting the new shop. And also I install this sign. All right, so today I am installing the sign on our property in Donald, BC. This is something that is so exciting because for the last 3 years we've been in my parents' backyard. We haven't been able to have a sign out on the street. So now that we bought the property, we had to make sure we got a sign made, and I wanted to personally come and do and install this. This is how much it meant to me. We finally are installing a sign for our business. Edison Motors is now on the map. We are here.
Well guys, super exciting day. We're gonna be working here with Brancis to get a digital survey of the property using a drone. So plan today, we're gonna design a map that has, the survey of the shop, test track, you name it. So Brancis, tell me about yourself.
Okay, my name is Brancis. I own a company called Brino Consulting. Today I contacted the helicopter company nearby to make sure that there's not going to be any interference. I'm submitting my flight plan to Nav Canada, and yeah, the plan is to get a nice detailed orthomosaic map for Edison so that they can do all kinds of planning. And yeah, I'm using the DJI M3T, so it has a thermal camera on it as well. We won't be using that today, but that can be used for burn pile scanning, post-fire assessments, solar panel inspections, home inspections, you name it. So this machine is really quite incredible. So if you guys are looking for any drone work done, I have an Instagram and a Facebook, and it's Brino Consulting. And just have a look and send me a message, and I'll have a discussion and come up with a plan.
Okay, so we just closed our investment raise yesterday, finalized it, spent the morning going through the budget. How much do we have to spend on everything? Right down to how much is concrete gonna cost, HVAC, plumbing, and the building and the shell. And we have a budget of 1.5 million for the building and erection to lock up. And that's why I'm here with Sean. Sean is a local company that does steel buildings, right?
Yeah, hey, I'm Sean Muldoon. I'm from CSD Steel Buildings. We operate out of Golden, BC here.
Basically, what do you figure we can get for 1.5 million? I know we're waiting on some exact quotes, but
yeah, once we start messing around with the doors and different windows and stuff, we think we can get a 100 by 300 foot building, 25 foot tall. Free span, couple of cranes in there, be good to go.
Yep, and then we came out here and we did a little bit of exploration work. Where were we gonna set it on this property? We want to be able to use the existing truck shop as, say, a service. When the trucks go out onto the test track, they can roll in there. If we need to do some cab assemblies outside or something like that, we can do outside the main shop, we can do it in that shop. So we need to be close to that shop so we can still access it while having enough room to turn. So over behind the camera here, this is going to be the laydown area behind me. Trucks are going to be coming in from this direction over here. So that'll be our entranceway. Vehicles will roll in there off the Donald Road. They come into the laydown, we unload them. We have an exit area right there where they can leave that way. On this side of the building, we were laying out the cones by 100 by 300. So it's gonna be running east-west, and we're gonna be putting some offices on this far side of the building behind me here, which means that engineering offices, people will come in, they'll be able to park. We're gonna make a parking area over by where Spencer's doghouse is, and the vehicles, that'll be where customers, employees park. It's a nice paved area that was pre-paved, that'll be parking. You'll walk over here, you'll walk into the offices, the merch store, parts store, reception area, engineering offices attached to the main building. And then we'll hopefully, as you come in there, you'll see trucks rolling out that west side. Okay, so one thing we had to do in figuring out where the shop is gonna go is make sure that we got good soil and material under the shop, right? So Spencer, what did you have to do here?
Yeah, 100 by 300 pad is massive, so we got to make sure that everything underneath it is stable. There's no wood underneath or anything unexpected. So we just dug down with the excavator and we were looking for stable ground. We found lots of rocks, there's lots of clay down there. So if we strip off 6-8 inches, then we're gonna have a really good base.
Yeah, no wood waste on this hole. So we dug multiple, like 6 different holes all over this place, and there is nothing under here that's gonna cause concern, you figure?
No, everything looks really good. Once we strip it, we'll pack the shit out of it and be good.
And that was not always the case on certain spots of this property.
Yeah, you gotta be careful because it's got a lot of history here, so we can do lots of testing before we lay out infrastructure.
There are still rumors that this was the old CP ground, and back in the 1800s there was actually a big roundhouse located back there. When they used to dispose of some of their equipment, railway equipment, they would just kind of dig a hole and bury it, and there is rumors that there is a CP old steam locomotive that they were kind of done with. The boiler was expired, why truck it away? Let's just bring it over here, put it in a pit. So somewhere on here is a steam locomotive. We didn't find it in these test pits, but hopefully when we're building the test track, maybe something will show up.
So now that we did the test holes for the shop and we have a pretty good idea where our shop's gonna land, we're gonna strip the area that the shop and the parking lot's gonna go on, and we're gonna start planning our elevations and drainage. So we wanna be very careful that we keep the water flowing away from the shop and away from our storage areas. And that's really important off the start. If we can have that plan in place early on, then it's gonna minimize cutting and filling later. So let's hop up in that D6 XE and I'll show you the automatic 3D controls and how we plan our elevations. So with the 3D automatics, we're based in, we went and we took a measurement for elevation on the corner of our shop on the northwest side. And we wanna use as much natural elevation as possible so we're not cutting and filling meters of material. Plus this ground has really good drainage as it is. So as I drove around the site here, I'm noticing that we have a good opportunity to go directly south on our shop area, but our laydown area where we're gonna take parts in and have truckers coming in, it wants to go east. So I think I'm going to have a slight draw to the east on our shop area, and then our landing area with the truckers, we're also gonna go east. That way everything can flow away from the shop and the water can dissipate southbound mostly. So you don't want to rush the planning because, like I said, you want to play with the natural slope and elevation as much as possible, not getting caught filling a meter or 2 meters here and there. So we're going to do a little bit more measuring, spend a couple hours making a good drainage plan, and then as soon as I have that in, I'm going to type it into my automatics and I'm going to strip all the black dirt southbound where the shop is. And then once I have my stripping done, then I'm gonna do a rock cut that matches our drainage plan, and everything from there is fill upwards.
So this load behind me here just showed up. We've got the E-axles for the next trucks. The Royal and the Tokel trucks E-axles are both right there. We got some of our toolboxes, old truck cabs. We're cleaning out the yard, and we found with the shacks that I have to haul, we got those 12 shacks. We got another 12 loads in Merritt. We have over like 24, 30 loads in total of stuff to bring out. So gotta say big thanks to Alex here for helping us out. Alex, you're local, eh? And Alex is actually one of our highest tiered YouTube members and happens to live in Golden.
Yeah, I haul logs once in a while into the reload yard here. And of course, now I'm hauling into the yard again for Edison.
Okay, so with the top tiered YouTube membership, there's actually a group chat, which requires an NDA to join. But in there, Alex is like, hey, I'm local, been hanging out for a little bit, and basically just texted me like, hey, I'm free Wednesday if you need anything picked up. And worked out pretty good because we do have a lot of stuff. I really appreciate it. Thanks. All right, so this is exciting. Trucker Alex dropped off another load here. We got the solar light towers, so until we run the power, we're gonna bring these up to the cabins. We'll drop those off at the cabins and use those to power them. And we also got the crane excavator on the trailer so we can start unloading and moving things. Only problem here is we don't have a loading ramp or anyway. This trailer doesn't have beaver tails, so I can't walk off the back. So I figured now is as good a time as any. Let's build a loading ramp, get this thing unloaded.
Hi, I'm Chris from CSD Steel Buildings in Golden, BC. We managed to get the contract for Edison Motors to build their 100 by 300 shop. We're super excited to get this started. We're expecting the building to arrive on site around September, and then Zach will take over as far as the construction goes with Metal Industrial Services.
I'm Zach with Metal Industrial Services. We're Western Canada's premier installer of prefabricated, pre-engineered metal building systems. From heavy industrial, commercial, residential, from Fort McMurray to your backyard, we install it all. We're here on site with the guys with Edison and with Chris from CSD, and we're pretty excited to be a part of this project. It's going to be an incredible feat to put this thing together, and we're very, very excited to be here.
All right, so one of the things we're talking about and we're going to be hoping to doing is taking you through this whole process. I think it's cool. We've never built a steel building. Zach here from Metal is super keen on doing time lapses and video the whole project, so stay tuned to this channel. We're going to show you how everything comes together and how you build a steel building from just dirt in the ground to concrete to erection to bringing it into a production line.